Hey, what's up? So I see people posting stuff on Facebook, still posting stuff about the legalization of gay marriage and all that stuff. Here's what I tell people: be careful what you use social media for. Social media, it's funny when you look at technology, and I was listening to a TED talk that talks about robotics and technology and human. First of all, I want you guys to consider two things whenever you post to Facebook or use media or when you use technology. I want you to consider two things. One, what is your general? What is the purpose? Are you trying to change people's minds, or are you just trying to express yourself? And when you think about what's the purpose of you expressing everything, this is all in one point. When you try to express yourself online, think of all the possibilities of people interpreting what you're trying to say and things that may result from that. If you're okay with that, then go ahead and post. I'm not going to judge. Go ahead and post. I'm not one of those ones who's going to make that generalized statement like, oh, yeah, you shouldn't post anything controversial to Facebook. No, what I'm saying is think about why what is the purpose of you posting? Are you posting to actually start a riot? Are you posting to change people's minds? Are you posting to get information? Are you posting to give information? Think about all the possibilities of the interpretation of what you're posting, the realistic possible. And if you're okay with that, go ahead and post. Let me tell you about myself. My thing is there are certain things that I don't post simply because I'm not there in a conversation. Trust me. Some of you guys I've had deep. I'm a talker. You guys know I'm a talker. Look at my Doc B's dailies. You know I'm a talker. So I have very controversial views about a lot of things. A lot of things. And there's some of my views are not so controversial. They're just standard. I'm not trying to make you guys think, oh, duh, Dr. Perry, he's some crazy guy. No, there's some views that you were to sit down and ask me, you're like, what the hell? And there's some things you views like, I agree. I don't post all my views because we need to have a discussion about why I view things in a certain way, because I know if I post to Facebook some of my views about certain issues, um, it may be misinterpreted, and then people are gonna have the wrong idea about me, and I don't want to lose friendships, or those aren't my real friends if I lose friendships, but I don't want to get out there that I think like this and I think like that. And I'm that type of person. Unfortunately, we all make assumptions about people just from a glimpse, one glimpse of 1/10 of a second as a person like you make. So my thing is, if you're gonna have an opinion about me, let it at least be an informed opinion. You can ask directly. You can interrupt me in the middle of my thought and say, well, what about this? And I can answer that. Not one space and time on Facebook you may misinterpret. So that's why I don't post a lot of my views. Some views I do post that are controversial. Why? Because there's some views I feel strongly about, and I can simply state my views. It's not that complicated. So if you don't like my views, then I don't care. I don't care. There's sometimes, and I think about those days, especially when it comes to race. The thing about the Confederate flag, some of my views, they're very easy for me to state. Like, it's not complicated. If you don't like it, I don't care. I put it out there, uh, not just to start a discussion sometimes, or to change people's minds, or have somebody ask me a question, or get people thinking about things, or just bring awareness. For instance, people think just because I'm a doctor and I have all these friends that are white and black, and that you're friends with me, and that everything is hunky dory, that racism is dead. Racism is not dead. That's what I tell people. Racism is not dead. You know, I don't wear a big stamp on my head that says I'm a Princeton grad doctor. There's still places that I could go to in the South where if I'm in t-shirt and jeans, I'm in big trouble if I say or do the wrong thing. Where one of my friends, the same height, the same age as me, t-shirt and jeans, then I could be interpreted the same way. So that's just my view. Because I think things need to be brought up in discussion, because I honestly believe if you don't talk about it, people think it's okay or think it's non-existent. Sometimes I think America needs to be reminded that certain issues are still around in order for us to know they need to be changed. If you think there's no racism and you think racism is dead, then you're not going to be motivated to change racism. And then when something happens, it doesn't even cross your mind that's a racial event because you thought racism was dead when it wasn't. Let's not get me started. So there's sometimes I do post controversial things. So, and then plus, I have to keep in mind my role as a physician, as a dad, as a fitness coach. For instance, I'll be honest, I'm a fitness coach. Um, part of my business relies on people trusting me, and I don't want to put anything out that someone can misinterpret. Now you don't want me to be your coach because you think I'm an asshole. When I'm not, you misinterpreted what I was saying, but maybe I shouldn't have put that on Facebook because what I was trying to say is much more complex, too complex for me to put into a written word on Facebook. And it doesn't matter. Some of my views don't even matter. So I wouldn't even put, like, what I mean is don't matter. They do matter, but they don't affect you. Like this whole thing about gay marriage and all that stuff. I'm a strong believer in that my views about, I don't talk about my views about homosexuality because, some of my views about homosexuality are very controversial and probably would offend people. And I'm not going to say which, but I don't post my views about that because it doesn't matter. Who you sleep with does not affect my life. It does not affect my life. So why does it matter if you get married or not get married? Why does it matter if I think it's a sin or not a sin? So I don't post that on Facebook because why does that even matter? So, and I know some very awesome people, very generous people who are for homosexuality, against homosexuality. And I'm sure if you post their views, they post their views, people are going to think they're assholes. No, they're not assholes. They just believe in what they believe in. So, and some people believe it may be a sin, but they still don't believe that they still believe God loves everybody. So that gets all crazy. So, and it bothers me when people post their views on Facebook and you go off and people go off and insult these people. Like, oh, you're an asshole, you're a bigot. That's another reason I don't post a lot of my views on Facebook. Because as soon as I post them, all of a sudden, people want to jump in and call me names. Or call me this, call me that, make an assumption about my entire life based upon one opinion. Sometimes we may have one conservative opinion or one liberal opinion. You hear one opinion from me, all of a sudden, I've had people even at work, I say one opinion, then somebody turns to me, Will, Dad, I thought you was a lot more of this and that. I'm like, listen, you hear one opinion. You hear one opinion about one subject. You already put me in the category. So you're just as closed mind as you're saying I am. You're doing the same exact thing. So doesn't matter. So the purpose of his Doc Beast Tale is to get you all, just think about what you're posting to Facebook. Just think about it. Don't just go all willingly posting on Facebook thinking it's okay. Because keep in mind, people are watching. I know people are watching me from my hospitals on Facebook. That's why sometimes when I post stuff, I may hint towards things, but I don't say anything directly. Because I want people to think I know who's watching. So I'm planting seeds in people's minds. And I'm giving messages to people without even saying it. I know who's watching. It's very apparent who's watching my page. Very apparent because I hear about it later on. So, hey, let's get it going.